Got another pressure washer in today, and guy says the carburetor is leaking gasoline. So I thought, well, I'll just order a new carburetor because I'm sure that's what it is. But I thought, you know what, out of thoroughness, I probably should just go ahead, take the cover off, put some gasoline in it, just to make sure that it's the carburetor. It could be something as simple as a hose. It could be the float is stuck inside, and I could probably free it up, maybe, who knows. So I thought, well, let's give it a try. Okay, so I'm going to take the housing off. It looks like the carburetor will stay on once I take the housing off. And there's going to be a hose in the back that we're going to take off. Goes right there. Okay, so you don't want to put a lot of gas in because you're just going to have to take it out later. Okay, so immediately started leaking. Instantly. And it is coming out of the carburetor itself. So it's not leaking around the seal of the bowl. That means the float is stuck. Sometimes you can just tap that and it'll come loose. Just curious. But it's not going to. So I'm going to get a pair of vice grips and we're going to lock that up so it'll stop leaking. And we'll take the carburetor off. Okay, so now I want to take a look at the linkage, make sure I don't mess anything up there. And it looks like it's just one linkage bar. Pop that off. Okay, so what was happening is, since the float inside, I'll show you the float in a minute, was not shutting, the gasoline was running up into the tunnel or the throat of the carburetor. So that means that it was just rolling out of there. Okay, so there's going to be a nut down here at the bottom that you're going to, or bolt, I guess, take out. So now I'm not strong enough to remove it with my nut driver, so I'm going to get a 1/2 inch with a ratchet. Yeah, this is really dirty. Look at that. So that float should be moving up and down, but it's stuck. This may not be savable, but I'm going to give it a try since I'm already in it. So I'm going to take the pin out, if it'll come out. So there's a pin right there. So if it doesn't come out, then I'm not going to go much further. I'll just order a carburetor. Okay, it came out. So then, when you take the float off, there is a needle valve right there. And that needle valve has to seat in there to shut the gasoline off. If it doesn't seat, then this bowl just fills up with gasoline. Okay, so I'm going to use some carburetor cleaner. See how much of this we can scrub off. Okay, so now I'm going to take the carburetor cleaner. I don't know if there's much hope for this, but I'm going to try. And I'm going to stick it in the little ports. There's ports everywhere on a carburetor. I'm going to try to clean them out. So I have these little welding tip cleaners, and I'm going to stick it in some of these ports to try to clear them out. So the carburetor is falling apart on me. Now I could buy a rebuild kit. Somebody will say you should buy a rebuild kit, or I can buy a new carburetor. Well, the new carburetor aftermarket is cheaper than the rebuild kit and the labor cost and all that. So it's just easier to buy a new carburetor. nowadays. Ooh, I got it. Okay, so that is the needle valve port right there. And so gasoline comes in here, comes out of there. That float lifts up, or I guess falls, well actually it would lift up this way. And that float floats up, then it shuts the gasoline off into this hole here. I doubt if, well, you might be able to see it in there, but this hole right here, I'll put the flashlight back up, has a red rubber seat in there. And it is disintegrating. Every time I touch it, more of it falls apart. I'm just gonna go ahead and order a new carburetor for this and put it on. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see that in the screen right there. I'm trying to get it framed in with the right. So that is the part number of the engine right there. You got to hunt around for it. It's always stamped on a Briggs motor, Briggs and Stratton motor. It's always stamped into the motor somewhere in a piece of metal. Normally on the riding mowers, it's on top of the overhead valve cover. So we'll get a carburetor on this and see where we're at. So, glad I didn't fill it too full, because we got to empty gas out of the tank now, so I can get my vice grips back. Now this will also tell me that if the hose is clogged, the fuel line, and it's not, it's flowing quite well. So if I can inspire you to fix it when you're living your dreams. Thanks for watching.